Welcome and thanks for tuning into what will be my one and only ever gameplay commentary from Gears 5. For those that are new to the channel, this is something I used to do a long time ago from Gears 1, 2, 3. I used to basically teach people how to play, quote, smarter. It was a series I ran. I would always be doing montages, gameplay commentaries, patch note rundowns, all kinds of stuff that was fairly innovative at the time. These days, these tips and tricks and patch note rundowns and tier lists are like the go-to thing. But I feel like when I was doing them back in the day, they were fairly modern. Not many people, if anybody, was doing them, and they were fairly well received. Since then, I've played a multitude of games and I've come back to Gears 4, which initially I didn't like, and then I really got to grips with it on the PC, and it was actually a really good game. I actually liked it and I thought it was fair. Could earn plenty of skins. I had a crazy amount of skins. I had like Rainbow Nasher Lancer, I had a Rainbow Sniper, I had emulsion snipers, I had all kinds of stuff. And we, as a group, meaning me and the 3 or 4 other people that play Gears, I guess 5 if you include a stream viewer that we sometimes play with, shout out to you, you know who you are. We really enjoyed the Gears experience, and it was a big flashback, and maybe we got caught in a wave of nostalgia, who knows, but we came back and we thoroughly enjoyed it. We caught the end of Gears 4 as like a little group, and we enjoyed it so much that we started to look into Gears 5. Gears 5 was coming out, and we decided we're definitely going to get Gears 5. So then we looked at what's the best way to get Gears 5. It turned out that just happened to be the Game Pass Ultimate Edition. The Game Pass basically gives you Xbox Live Game Pass, and you can play a few PC games cross-play. And it happened to be that Gears 5 was on that system, so we all paid our £2, and when Gears 5 came out we got it, and we were all well looking forward to it. We had 3-player co-op planned. A couple of people weren't that interested in co-op, so a couple of us were going to do 3-player co-op. Some people were going to play multiplayer, and yeah, we were quite looking forward to playing Gears. We're all absolute Gears 1 veterans. We're talking 2006 ranked every school night, like getting from school. Like if you weren't playing football or Kirby out on the streets or riding your bike or playing Manhunt in the woods, we would come in and play Gears for the remainder of the night. That's literally like what my childhood was. It was like you go on the football field and you play Manhunt, you play all Bulldogs, all this kind of stuff, and then you'd come in and then you'd just play some Gears, and like Xbox Live was just starting out. And it was just an incredible experience to be able to talk to your friends across the internet. Like, this was new, and you could play like the greatest looking game I've ever played, Gears 1. And it was just a fantastic experience, and it kind of captured that when I was playing Gears 4. I was like, man, I'm playing Gears with my friends. It's like, it's good fun. Like, I actually well enjoyed it. And yeah, we started up Gears 5. And Gears 5 for me, and I'm not exaggerating, has been the most depressing game / letdown I've ever played. And I now finally understand when people say like, oh, this movie that I've been looking forward to for years has been ruined, or this TV show got ruined and stuff, right? I had Gears 2, and Gears 2 was a massive letdown from Gears 1 for me. I'm not going to go into why or the balance or anything, but it was a big letdown. No custom matches, no player matches, a load of stuff. Like, there was huge lag, like the shotgun range, it was all 2-shot downs, there weren't much fighting, huge stopping power, I couldn't run anywhere, but the maps were good and everybody was playing it, right? And it was still Xbox Live in its infancy, and you could get through the bullshit and the annoyingness just because you were playing with like your mates and it was all new. And it had some good things. Like, I absolutely loved playing Guardian on it. We would have games where I would be the leader and Jacinto would be grenade tagging up, which was something I hated, but in Guardian it made sense. You were protecting the leader, so tagging up and playing a bit slower with stopping power and protecting your leader. The balance in that kind of made a lot of sense, and we enjoyed Guardian. Played a lot of execution and all that stuff, but yeah, I had enough fun to be like, you know what, I liked that. The campaign was brilliant, and we all played it, and then we played some multiplayer, and yeah, it overall, it was not my like cup of tea, not my favorite game, but I did like very much enjoy it, like in my own little sadistic way. And then we move on to Gears 5, and it is just so. It is actually like. I would go, even though this sounds pathetic as a grown up, I would actually go as to far as to say it is upsetting, mate. I'm not going to cry over it or anything, but man, it is shitty the way the game's gone. And let me just explain over the course of this video why I feel like it's just been so awful. Because I've done my review, and my review sort of touches on a few issues, but in this video, I wanted to put across like the feeling and like how it makes me, feel when I play the game. Because a lot of gaming is feeling, right? So I'll take my analytical hat off for a moment, and I'll just chat to you. So where do we begin? Let's begin with microtransactions, and let's begin with content creators. Because I think those two go hand in hand. Kind of not hand in hand, but kind of hand in hand. You'll see what I mean. When the shop comes out and the $70 game, yes, it's on Game Pass, but it is a $70, 55 quid product on the shelf. If I go into my supermarket, it's there on the shelf for 55 quid, I saw. And you go on that game, and you purchase that game, and the content has been stripped away and is then sold to you through a shop. Like, the bots can curb stomp, but you can't curb stomp. The skins that are in the game are locked behind a Tour of Duty pass that is very obnoxious to complete. And just basic content that, such as characters, are just hidden away, and you can't get to them unless you realistically grind, or you pay. And it just doesn't sit right with me as like a consumer and as a fan of a series, because I like to think of like me as a kid. When I was a kid, I didn't get my Xbox 360 when it was brand new. I got it like, I think it was like the following Christmas, or I'm not sure when the Xbox 360 came out. Maybe it was 2006, because I was playing in 2006, but I didn't get it on launch. I waited till Christmas, and that would have been like a 3-month period or so. Because I remember when I was in school, my friends would talk about the quality of Skyrim and how you could like steal a horse and ride it around this massive city, and it made it sound amazing, because I was used to playing like a lot smaller games on the PlayStation. So I really wanted to get an Xbox because it just sounded like this magical gaming experience, and it ended up being that. It really was a great console. And now you come to like Gears 5, and it's just everything wrong with modern gaming. And I'm going to just say it, mate. I thought the reason I would stop playing online gaming is because of I got bored, I got old, I got jaded, I got frustrated, my hardware ended up not being good enough, something, real life took over, something stopped me playing games. But actually, I think what's going to stop me playing games is microtransactions, which sounds pathetic because they don't affect me. Yeah, some guy's wearing a skin, and it doesn't give him any more power. It doesn't affect him, but it just feels permanently shitty to see something on somebody else, knowing that the only way you can get that is through paying. And paying for an absolute half-baked, half-ass finished product. Like, I just played a match right now. I might just chuck the clip in there over the top. And the characters had no textures for the full duration of the game. And I was just like, how is this even like allowed to be published? And as well, I was playing on 120 ping. The servers have been down since effectively day one. And I actually was sort of enjoying it at the beginning because I had 1 day of server usage. And I started to make a montage, and I thought, I'm kind of enjoying it. I could do a few tips and tricks on this game. I might make a montage. I might play this for a few months because I'm not enjoying Path of Exile, which is a game I play. And eventually the servers broke. The game slowly unveiled itself. And I think that's what reviewers, which I guess I'll talk about, piss me off, because reviewers are people in the pockets. If you see a review that is out before the release of a game, they are in the developers' pockets. This is a fact. Why? Because there are many big channels that review games, and they do not indeed. That guy got destroyed then. They both got absolutely destroyed. They are in the pockets because people like bigger channels that aren't in the pockets do not get the copies of the game because they know they might get negative spin, and they don't want any negative spin before the game releases. So these people, these reviewers, do not have enough time to really get into the nitty-gritty of the Tour of Duty system. They don't have chance to play till rank 200 and get Diamond or Masters or whatever. And they just play the very bare bones of it. Now, me, when I did my review, I'm rank 200. I'm Diamond. I haven't been able to play since I reached Diamond because the servers aren't online for 16 days. I've played the campaign. I've completed Horde 3 times, 1 to 50 on the 3 difficulties to see how it plays out. I've finished the campaign. And yeah, I've played a lot of multiplayer. And I feel like that's when you can release a review. When you've played all the content and you can actually play the game, how you can release a review and not actually be any good at the game or play the game in any meaningful way is just baffling to me. It is ridiculous. And I see these people who, you know who they are. These were people that were in the dregs of the Gears of War 1 community. When I was in the community, there was like this thing, and it's going to sound daft. If you couldn't get clips, you stole people's clips or did top plays. And there are people that did top plays, and there are people that became more like happy-go-lucky channels where rather than like get clips and bitch about Gears 2 and 3 and try get the game fixed, these people just smiled and waved and really kissed ass of anything related to Gears. And now they're at the top of the Gears channels and they say nothing negative. I've seen these people tweet like, oh, the new skins are out in the shop and go check out hashtag Gears5 and all this promotional bullshit on their YouTube and Twitter. And the screenshots that they're playing on have 120 ping because the servers aren't even turned on and haven't been turned on for 15 to 16 days in their region. I think it's completely disingenuous and absolutely bullshit that is what the Gears community has to deal with. Actually, if I want to toot my own horn, I actually feel quite proud of myself that when I was a sort of little bit of a community figure and I made videos for the community, I was dead honest, and I feel like people enjoyed that honesty. And now you've got these bullshit reviews telling people that the game is fantastic, and you've got these promotional style guys and people that are just they're just out the promo tools for the devs, and they don't represent, or should I say not that they represent, and they don't have the consumer's best interest at heart, because they're selling bullshit really. And yeah, a lot of the content is locked behind the disc, and it just absolutely sucks. I absolutely can't stand microtransactions, especially in a $70 game. So let's move on from that. Then we've got gameplay, and there's just so many broken things. Again, massive lag. We actually have aim assist. Like, you can aim at people's knees and sometimes it gives you a headshot. You can try to strafe out the way of somebody's bullet and it'll still kill you. And the overall quality of the game is just trash. And it's sad for me to say because I really was looking forward to it, but it is absolutely dire. And the matchmaking doesn't get any better at high elo. I've seen people on Discord and YouTube going, "Oh, I just want to climb out of silver," and then it's like, "But mate, this isn't CS:GO. This isn't League of Legends or Dota or StarCraft. You don't match against similar MMR, so there's no point getting to a higher MMR because you're still playing with and against the same poor players." Today, I signed in, and this was my experience. 120 ping. I had 2 people that basically looked like they'd never picked up a controller before in ranked. I had one guy on 20 ping on my team doing okay, and the whole other team there was one guy on 250 ping, one guy on 120 ping, and then there was 3, I guess, Americans that were kind of a little bit sweaty. Not good players, but, you know, a bit of crossing, bit of lancering, and they managed to win the King of the Hill game because I just had such a miserable experience. And it's like, it would just suck, man, that some kid buys this game at Christmas, can't unlock most of the content because it's in the Tour of Duty, and once the first Tour of Duty is gone, that content that's in that Tour of Duty is gone forever and locked away. So these people won't be able to get content because they were slightly late to join to the game. And they'd miss out on so much. Like, imagine joining late to Gears 1 and 2 and not being able to unlock certain characters and never been able to play as like General Ram or Cantus in Gears 2 or something like that. And these developers are robbing people. And it makes me sound like, a bit like over the top, but they're robbing people not only of like money through the absolute bullshit like give us iron to re-roll your challenges and all this, and we'll make the system boring so people want to pay to skip and buy the skins instead, but they're actually robbing people of genuine fun gaming experiences. It's not fun to play on 120 ping. It's not fun to see people running around with content that you can't get. And I feel really sorry for these newer children and newer players that have just grown up with this. Because to me, it's not acceptable. I didn't grow up with this. When I grew up, like, the most expensive thing I bought on Microsoft Store was probably Shivering Isles. And it was a full massive expansion for Oblivion, one of the best games ever made. And it was like £7, and people would be sat in party chat going, should I buy it? Is it worth it? Can you imagine now if a game put out a full massive expansion for £7? It'd be snapped up instantly. Like, but people start to think about the decisions and stuff. And just again, there's so many other things, like the flashbangs are completely cancerous. They actually hurt your eyes. The audio gives you a headache. And the shotgun fights are non-existent. The shotgun fights are 2-shot downs. And there's a guy from, I think he's in Raw or something. He's an English lad that plays Gears. And there's a clip of him in his like kind of review. And he shoots a guy from quite a long distance away, and he gets really mad because he says, oh, that's a point blank, that should have killed him. And that, again, is everything wrong with the game. If you make the point blank range bigger and bigger and bigger, all it means is, if you were to get stupid about this, if you were to have a square map and everybody's shotgun one shot at 50 foot, you still have the same issue of everybody desperately trying to get in that 50 foot range. So you try to tank the shot at 51 foot and then move into 50 foot and shoot him. Extending the gib range doesn't solve the issue. The issue is that you can effectively just hard aim somebody down in 2 shots and then dance at the gib range. Whereas in Gears 1, it was very much like you had to stick the gun in some bloke's chest and then you were strafing and you would basically try to make them miss shots, and they wouldn't be able to 2-shot down you because it had fall off distance damage. And it would be this art of like trying to make somebody land 4 shots or committing and trying to get in that, and you'd stick the gun in the chest and try to blow them up. And there was this like dance and this art to the game. And now aim assist, massive lancers, and you get the odd good game. Like this game I'm playing right now that you've been watching was a particular good game that I enjoyed. But for the most part, it is dire. The maps are dire. Icebound is absolutely dire. Yeah, like that guy there kind of got outstrafed, and there are a few moments of goodness like in every video game, but it's been one of the most disappointing experiences. Horde mode, if the class you like, say you want to upgrade the turrets, but you like one character, like you can't play as, say, Kate and upgrade turrets because she doesn't do that as her class, so you have to play as a character you don't like. And I think if we were to be honest with ourselves and really think about Gears 5, what new things did it bring to the table? Like really, as a franchise and as a a title thing, it didn't really improve on any mechanics. It didn't give better customization or options. It gave a few better options, but for every good option it has a bad option. And really, escape mode is absolutely dire and it's average as fuck. And there's nothing really new that it brings to the table. And sadly, as one of the biggest Gears fans probably on this site, I think it's time for the franchise to either be taken over by a completely new team that understands the core skill of the game, or just sadly let the franchise die. Like, it won't die because it's their baby and they want to get campaigns, and now that they've figured they can sell skins to you, they'll keep this going forever. But as a as a gaming experience, and does it bring anything new to the table? It really doesn't, and it's sad to see, because Gears 1 for me was like this truly innovative experience. You were playing online, dark, gritty games, good, clean, skilled action, great maps, even in Gears 2 and Gears 3. Really, there was some really good maps in there, some cool looking weapons, and in this, man, like, even the digger was like a cool idea in Gears 3. It was kind of broken, kind of overpowered, but the way that it could eat through the floor and break sieges and stuff, kind of interesting. Hammer of Dawn was a really sick weapon in Gears 1. The battles on rooftops and all that shit, trying to find that pinpoint block at the start of a GB match. And now, man, we've got like what? Drop shot, you sort of shoot it lands a grenade at your feet. Lancer GL, it's like a massive noob tube. A shot grenade, you lob it. You can't move or do anything inside it. Very boring. And I can't even think of what other weapons there are in the game that are interesting. And that goes to show, doesn't it, really, that I can't even pinpoint any sort of new. I'm probably missing something. But that's what I mean. Like, I can't even think of it off the top of my head. There's been so few enjoyable moments in Gears 5 for me as a multiplayer person that it's depressing. Like, it's actually sad. I am fighting, as a Halo character, fighting a Terminator on a game where you just two-shot people down, and defender's advantage is massive, and you sit in this block inside here. This is like what everyone does on escalation, and you cross and you lock it down, and it's miserable, man. It's just not the game that I grew up loving, and it's really shitty, isn't it, to see something that you enjoy just get destroyed. And what's worse about it is the people that destroyed it and the people that actively play it don't realise that it's been destroyed. People go on about this game in reviews and online and stuff like it's good. And I'm not just talking as a Gears 1 purist, I'm talking as even as a third person game. Let's forget it's Gears of War. Even as a third person game, it's pretty miserable. If you weren't a Gears of War fan and you just purchased this, it's kind of a bit of Call of Duty because you can rifle, but predominantly it's still shotgun kills, so that would probably annoy you. And the shotgun kills are kind of inconsistent and bullshit because of the whole gib range dance that's started. Rather than making people miss and landing shots, it's now just dance around the gib range or the two-shot down. And yeah, sadly, it's been an absolutely rubbish experience. My dog's barking because now I've started this video, I'm not paying attention to it, so the commentary is coming to an end in a second. But yeah, it's just been miserable in the fact that even in a game like this where I played pretty damn well, I crossed, I spotted, I really tried to get into the mood of Gears 5 and play solo, and I thought I did play pretty well in this game, but it's just not enjoyable. It's very hollow and it's like an empty feeling when you play the game. Even when you do something cool, you kind of was that aim assist? Was he lagging? You try to look away from flashbangs and you just get absolutely visually raped by shit. And then you check the forums and everyone's like, oh, just adapt, bro, adapt. And if anybody is a long-term fan and you remember that forum video I made, someone will dig it up and post it in the comments. If you remember that forum video where I was laughing at people, you should, they've won, mate. The way the game has become, they have won. Those Gears 2 people that cried on the forum have finally won. They must be loving this game. But you know what? They're probably not loving it because they probably ditched it and left for a different franchise. And us veteran fans and us real OG fans are left to pick up the pieces of a completely miserable and hollow game. This game has no players on Steam. This game is completely dead on Steam. On PC, there's very little PC players left. And there's very little EU people because we've all left because the servers have been offline for 16 days. And there's so many good games online. And so many other good games like on the Nintendo Switch, play Zelda, or, you want to play some PUBG on the PC or play some incredibly competitive Brood War, or, you want to go play Overwatch or whatever game you enjoy. There's so many other good games that I can't recommend this game. This game is just absolute modern gaming. It's a it's a game. It's an MTX machine packaged as a game and not an actual game. It is a hollow gaming experience. It is